The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. Jesus began to show his disciples that he must go to Jerusalem and suffer greatly from the elders, the chief priests, and the scribes, and be killed, and on the third day be raised. Then Peter took him aside and began to rebuke him. God forbid, Lord. No such thing shall ever happen to you. He turned to Peter and said, Get behind me, Satan. You are an obstacle to me. You are thinking not as God does, but as human beings do. Then Jesus said to his disciples, Whoever wishes to come after me must deny himself, take up his cross, and follow me. For whoever wishes to save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake will find it. What profit would there be for one to gain the whole world and forfeit his life? Or what can one give in exchange for his life? For the Son of Man will come with his angels in his Father's glory, and then he will pay all according to his conduct. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to the Lord Jesus Christ.
Then he said to them, If anyone wishes to be a follower of mine, he must do what?
Take up his cross.
No, not yet. So before taking up the cross, what happened?
Deny yourself.
Deny yourself and then? No. Deny yourself. What else? Pick up your cross and do what? And follow me. Because whoever wishes to save his life will do what? Will lose it. But whoever loses his life for my sake will do what? We gain it. This is the message of today. Taking up our crosses and doing what? And following Jesus. Not abandoning the crosses, not forfeiting the crosses, not wishing not to carry our crosses, but rather we should go back. Whoever wishes to follow me, go back. Pick it up. Now come and follow me with the cross. In the first reading, we saw Prophet Jeremiah thinking that following Jesus is all about happiness and joy, no persecution, no problem, everything will be as easy as ABC. Thinking that following Jesus is free from worries now. But today at the initial stage, when he was called, he answered graciously, Here I am, Lord. Send me, I come to do your will. And today, after some time, he got so tired, worried, and somehow disappointed, because what he thought wasn't what he was seeing. Like many of us, what we think or what we thought, those who are married, at the initial stage, what you were thinking, well, sometimes things did what? Change. You begin to even doubt yourself. What am I doing? Who is this man? Who is this woman? No? But you have changed. You are no longer the same person. I mean, before you were so sweet. You talked to me from the heart. But now you don't even want to see me. I'm tired or you are tired. Because what we were thinking at the initial stage, most of us, we don't know that any type of decision that we have, there are some challenges which Jesus referred to today as a cross. So Jeremiah was filled even with the passion that he cannot continue. That instead of people receiving him with joy, what he hears every place is just destruction, kill him, arrest him, and he was even put to jail. And Jesus today turned around, and even the apostles, he announced his passion. That very soon, the Son of Man will be going to where? To Jerusalem. To do what? To watch movie, to do a cookout, to play football or to watch sports on the television, but to do what? To be handed over, to be crucified, and to suffer in the hands of the elders and chief priests. And now today we saw Peter. What did Peter say? No? Oh, hey, Lord, go well. No, I wish you safe trip, Lord. What did Peter say? No, you shouldn't do that. How on earth you, our Messiah, the one promised for Israel to come, our Redeemer, how you cannot suffer? No. Jesus turned around and told him what? Get behind me. Why? Because you think like human beings do, and you don't think like the way God does. Now, turning around to his disciples, now he told them, now if anyone wants to be a follower of mine, deny yourself, take up your cross, and follow me. When I read the context of Luke put it in a way to let us know that we have our crosses of everyday life. Gospel of Luke added, take up your cross of everyday life. Come and follow me. What are your crosses? That was a story. I'm going to repeat it because this didn't happen. We read it almost 2 or 3 months ago. A pastor announced in the church, please next week everybody prepare and bring your crosses and hand them over to the Lord. And people, the next Sunday, people were coming, and out there was a man carrying the wife on the head, on the basin, and coming to the church. Everybody, what's happened? This is my cross. No? I want to hand it over to you, Lord. No? So the same way our lives is full of crosses of everyday life. These crosses are not something that make us to smile. The crosses are not something that make us to be happy. It's a challenge in our lives. Jeremiah was challenged, and we saw how he went and then sit down at a place and bemoaning his life. Lord, you seduced me, Lord. You enticed me, Lord. You duped me, Lord. I came into this without knowing this is the condition, this is what I am going to meet. There is no life without a cross. Today, everybody, as our faces are completely different, so also your own cross is different. Even though in the family you are 4, 5, 6, or 7, everybody, we don't have the same cross. Everyone, you have your own particular cross. No one can carry that cross except who? Except you. And today Jesus reminds us, if you want to be a faithful, mark that word, if you want to be a faithful follower of mine, go, bring that cross and follow me. There was another story that saw when a man was tired of life too. And of course, one of the things some of us do, when we have problem, what do? We turn around, we turn against God. Some of us, because if you exist, why should this happen? And some people, they refuse to pray. Some don't want to go to the church because of a problem. One man was accusing God to be so wicked for giving him the cross that he was carrying. Problems all over his life, challenges, ups and downs. He was tired of life. And he was almost at the verge, at the point of taking his own life because he can't continue. While he was thinking that in the room, the Lord appeared to him. And he said, Lord, I don't even want to see your face. Why? Because you are so wicked. You gave me cross that I cannot bear in my life. Change this cross for me. Otherwise, I am taking my decision. The Lord turned around to him and said, my son, okay, you want me to change your cross? Yes. Now the Lord took him, because it was in a trance, the Lord took him to the room where they had different sizes and shapes of crosses, and now told him, now my son, you said that I'm wicked, now pick one. I'm willing to change your cross for you. This man went and tested all the crosses, as some of us test clothing when we go to shop. Where do you do the shopping? In Walmart, in Macy's. And some people, they test every cloth and end up not buying any one, no? And some even after testing, like myself, I go and buy overweight, no? Or oversized. This man tested all the crosses, and well, eventually he happened to find one that he thinks is light, and told the Lord, Lord, I have found one. Take this and change the one you gave to me. The Lord told him, turn it around. He turned the cross around, and there was the life history of this man. And that was the cross he has been carrying since. And the Lord told him, my son, how do you think I'm wicked? You came and choose the same cross you have been carrying. You came and choose the same cross you think that I'm wicked to have given to you. My son, this is you. This is your DNA. This is your life. And for me, I'm not wicked. This is what came to you as a human being. At times, many of us, we tend to act like this man. Tired of the cross. We cannot continue. We think the Lord is so wicked without knowing most of this that happens in our life, they are meant to be. The only thing we ask the good Lord is for the grace to carry all these crosses. What are your crosses? What's going on in your lives? What makes you not to sleep? Are you happy? Are you happy? I can see your faces. There is what is called unspoken vocabularies. The way we put our faces, we speak without knowing. You can see in our faces that so many people are carrying crosses they think they cannot bear. But one of the things I am sure of is God can never give you a cross you cannot bear. But the only thing needed is patience and seeking God's will and seeking God's wisdom. So anything that is happening in your life that makes you not to sleep, that makes you to worry, that's the cross. I don't want to define it in psychology, otherwise they call it the mental sickness. And a mental sickness is defined not when one is mad. No. A mental sickness is defined when you have a worry that even passes more than 2, 3, 4, 5 days, and still your mind and heart is there. It doesn't allow you to sleep. It doesn't allow you to realize, to do all you've been doing every day of your life. That's a concern, and that is part of sickness. And Jesus reminds us, when all those issues comes, do not worry. Carry them. Come to me, and I will help you carry your cross with you. And of course, we remember his promise and his invitation. Come to me, all you who and are over, and I will give you rest. So no matter what is going on in your life, some students, now that the school year began, and maybe some of them, they don't want to go to school, or a particular course, or a particular material, a particular subject poses an obstacle to some. And some will even like to drop out. And there are some who, the people who recently went to college for the first time, out of the family, at times difficulties of adaptation, even to feed oneself, also becomes a cross. The same way, no matter our state of life, no matter where you happen to find yourself, know that everything that happens that poses as a challenge for us, what is it called? A cross. And today, Peter didn't want Jesus to carry his cross. Jesus told him, now get behind me, Satan. Of course, Satan is understood as one who is on your way, an obstacle that doesn't allow you to realize what you want to realize. Jesus looked at Peter as an obstacle and now told him to get behind me. To be a disciple, you have to follow your master. He didn't tell him, get away, Peter, no? Like some of us would have done, no? But what did Jesus told Peter? Get behind me and now do what? Follow your master as a disciple. The same way, my brothers and sisters, we are all invited to get behind who? Jesus, carrying our crosses and following him. That is when we will see the glory that comes towards the end. And for us to know the importance of carrying our crosses, most of the crosses we are having today, tomorrow will lead us to joy. A pregnant woman, most of the time I haven't been pregnant before, no? But we imagine what they go through. Am I right? Some of them, they go through difficult moments, but with the joy, with the hope that this suffering will not be everlasting. highest 9 months, what happens? Miracle comes out with all those pains and anguish, and then we have the babies in our hand. Those sufferings now are transformed into joy. And you see the woman who didn't want to have more babies, some will have 4, some will have 5. Why? Because the joy that comes through the suffering is transformed into something that gives us more happiness, because one was willing to carry that particular cross with resignation and with faith. A student who during this time studies a lot, does his or her homework, gets up early in the morning to go to school, and does everything he's supposed to do, and at the end of the semester, when you look at your grade and you see A, and maybe 1B, how does the person react? You see joy, you see satisfaction. The same way for some of us who go to work, and the jobs some of us do is so challenging, so difficult, extraordinarily difficult. But at the end of 2-3 weeks, they give us our check, or the bounces or the check goes into your account, and immediately you see the account or your check. How do we feel? We wish now to go more. The same way, my brothers, if after suffering most of the things we do with faith, with hope, and with following Jesus, at the end, there's going to be a very beautiful smile. When we hear that word from Jesus, "Come to me, you who are blessed of my Father. For having been faithful over a little, I will now give you more. Come to the joy of your Master." May God give me the grace to pick up our cross. All those small things. That crosses we're talking about is not big things. Small things that makes us not to be happy. Small things that make couples not even to sleep together. Small things that makes one even not to have the patience to listen to one another. All those are small crosses that makes our lives impossible. But believe me, with God, everything will be possible. Let us turn to God with our crosses. Then what will be fulfilled in our lives will be what St. Paul already foretold, that whatever God prepares for those who love him, eyes have not seen, ear have not heard, the human mind has never conceived what God prepares for those who love him. And for us to be able to reach or to get to that